week on Storyboard, we are speaking with Ali Harris Sher, COO Biscuits and Cakes, ITC Foods, on the final trends in the biscuit consumption during the pandemic and their plans for the festive season. We are also catching up with Tarun Katiyal, CEO Z5 India, on the new content and marketing strategy for this OTT platform. And on this week's notice board, we have the new campaign for Forever Ma. Hello and welcome to Storyboard. This is Shibani Harat. This pandemic has led to a sizable increase in the in-home consumption of biscuits. But now almost everything has started opening up. So how will this exactly impact the category, and what are the finer trends that will still hold true in the coming days? Well, we get these questions answered as we speak to Ali Harris Sher, COO Biscuits and Cakes at ITC Foods, and he is also speaking to us about the brand's plans for this festive season. Ali, welcome to Storyboard.
Thank you so much, Shibani. Thanks a lot.
So, since the entire lockdown and all of the phases of the unlock, we have seen several initiatives from Sunfeast, including your Sunfeast India Run as one, Sunfeast Bounce, which was another initiative that you guys launched. So, what has been the larger strategy for Sunfeast Biscuits?
So that's an interesting question, Shibani. And to start with, what we did was that we wanted to have a larger picture. We wanted to have a long-term view rather than looking at life over a short period of time. So we took all our decisions and we created a strategy in line with that. There was a time when the scale-up of our manufacturing was taking a little bit of time, and then there was a phase that demand was exceeding supplies. But we continued to invest on our brands. We continued to drive our innovations. And we realized that media also gave us an opportunity because there was reduced clutter and therefore ability to stand out. And like I said, we invested in that phase and really increased our share of voice. Like you also mentioned about the Bounce campaign and the Dark Fantasy campaign. So we used the contextual opportunity through digital and did multiple campaigns. We did a campaign on Bounce, which was to build on positivity and inspire people to stay indoors. And the whole idea was that India will bounce back if people stayed inside their houses. We did an initiative called India Run as one with ProCam, which was to bring community, social impact, and wellness together. And it garnered a lot of response from consumers. It was towards contributing towards livelihoods. And we realized that some of these initiatives really worked. As a result, what happened was that because we invested in our brands, we did a lot of initiatives, our brand health scores moved up significantly to the tune of almost 50% increase in many of those matrices.
Also, there was a clear increase in the in-home consumption of biscuits. Is something that we saw during this entire COVID-19 disruption. But what were the finer trends that we saw over there? Which categories, which brands did really well for Sunfeast around this time?
Yeah. So, biscuits emerged as a versatile snack during COVID and during lockdown because, the category had the ability to bring health and taste together. There was a common ground. The category was a common ground between mothers and kids because mothers felt that the category was wholesome, healthy, and the kids found it delightful. So it was a common ground. Mothers didn't have to push it as far as the family was concerned. Also, the category is accessible. You have price points which are 5 and 10. And the category is also food for many people. So, category was very versatile, and that lent itself to being consumed in home. Also, there were some other shifts that were happening and other trends that were happening, which is that the power came back in the hands of the mothers, because the kids were not going out, and whatever mother got home is something that the kids were happy consuming. And the mothers had a health inclination when it came to food during that time. So as I said, category was perceived to be healthy. The mothers were also looking at convenient snacking because, they were pressed for time, and there were a lot of multiple hats that the mother had to put on at the same time. All of this led to share of stomach shifting towards healthy, convenient food, and biscuit was the front runner there. So that's how I would say biscuits, became the preferred snack choice during lockdown. But there were some trends that we saw, as Sunfeast, and we leveraged on those trends. One was that there was a trend towards staple categories, categories like Marie biscuits, glucose, milk biscuits, etc. And we really did well in those categories. We outpaced the category growth there. So there was a trend of health, and we really doubled our business in some of our brands and products that were good for you. So Veda Mari is one example, which we had launched a few months before COVID, and we really doubled our business as far as Veda Mari was concerned. It's a new platform. It's an innovative platform. We are the only ones in biscuits who have that platform. So we really leveraged that. Hygiene, safety, seeking out behavior were a few other trends that we saw, and we leveraged through our Stay Fresh packs, recipes using some of our products. We saw growth in semi-urban and rural higher than in metros, and we leveraged that. E-commerce really emerged as a channel, and we got significant increase in our business as far as e-commerce is concerned. In fact, we grew almost 300 to 400% in that channel.
So, Ali, what is the strategy, in fact, for, maximum visibility around the festive season?
The biggest platform for advertising pre-Diwali is IPL, and I'm sure all of us know that. And we're playing big as far as IPL is concerned. We are an associate sponsor on that platform. We have partnership with RCB, and there's a new campaign, in fact, that's going live as we speak in a couple of days, which is Lucky Hai, which is in association with RCB. So Diwali is big, and IPL pre-Diwali has been a big platform for us to really create awareness for some of our brands. Gifting is another trend that you see during festive season, especially Diwali, and Dark Fantasy, which is our premium brand, leads that agenda for us as far as gifting is concerned. And Dark Fantasy is very aggressively present on IPL. We are going to use digital e-commerce for gifting is going to become possibly bigger, and our presence on e-commerce is going to strengthen. And then, of course, Christmas is going to come. So we have big plans on cakes. There's a big launch that we have up our sleeves, which we'll do as far as cakes is concerned. And of course, this is a time to connect with consumers. So contextual messaging, contextual advertising is something that we would do as we get into the festival season.
Okay. Sticking to advertising, the recent TRP bark scam has caused concern with, a lot of marketers. What is your take on that? And, many say that it has clearly eroded, their trust on the bark ratings as a currency for measurement. Ali, I wanted to understand from you, how do you look at this whole issue?
So, we have received an official statement from BARC, and we are quite satisfied with that statement. So not much changes for us as far as our outlook to advertising is concerned. And also, we do a lot of consumer immersions. We get our sense on what's happening, what programming is doing well, what channels are doing well, etc. And, which is outside of BARC. And we have a good sense that the viewership on TV has really increased over the last 6 months while the lockdown was on, and even post-lockdown. IPL is doing well, and we've really invested big on IPL. And there is no doubt in our minds that IPL viewership is extremely, extremely high. So like I said, we've got an official statement from BARC, and not much changes for us.
Okay. And also, this is an interesting time with, boycott everything, trending on social in a big way. First, it was, the big anti-China sentiment, followed by a lot of other boycotts in between, to the most recent Tanishq controversy. So how do you look at it, and what is the best way for an advertiser or a brand to navigate a situation like this?
So, there are a few things that are that are realities, and one reality is that social media has given access to people to express their point of view about everything. So that's one reality. I think the other thing that we've seen increasingly, and we are doing it as well, which is that we are increasingly starting to address shared human agendas with our consumers. So there's a point of view that most of our brands have, and we want to have a meaningful presence in the lives of our consumers. And therefore, both have to possibly work. The only thing that we as advertisers can do is that we can be mindful of any unintended invocation or association that we might be creating through some of the content that we are creating. But very importantly for all advertisers and for us is to listen to our consumers and identify where is an issue, if there is any. There's no one solution. I think each brand has to make meaning, relevant meaning for themselves, and take a decision basis what they think is right or not right. But I think at the end of the day, for most brands and for us especially, to reinforce positivity is the main agenda. So whatever reinforces positivity is something that we will do, and whatever reinforces positivity is what any advertiser at the end of the day should do.
All right, Ali, thank you so much. Thanks for speaking to us today.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Shivani. Thanks a lot.
It is time for us to take a short break. On the other side of this break, we are catching up with Tarun Katyal, CEO ZEE5 India, on the new content and marketing strategy for this OTT platform. And on this week's notice board, we have a new campaign for Forever Mark.